Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Paul Walker from the GH Spoilers YouTube channel. Today is a wildly stormy Tuesday here in New York, and it perfectly matches the absolute hurricane of news we are breaking down today regarding a fatal twist at General Hospital. We are diving into a game-changing lethal shocker that will leave your jaw on the floor. Let's get right into the madness. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Might delete this later. But I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. It is 3 a.m. My eyes are burning. I am running on zero sleep and pure unadulterated psychic damage, and I just had to hit record. I am ditching the script entirely. I am breaking every single filter I possess, because this grueling, decade-long journey of analyzing Port Charles lore has finally pushed me over the edge. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. We have absolute legends carrying this entire journey on their shoulders, while others are single-handedly testing my sanity. And I am going to call every single one of them out right now. Listen, we need to talk about Nina Reeves. Honestly, basically, we need to talk about how a former fashion magazine editor just committed a cold-blooded, premeditated, first-degree murder in the middle of a crowded hospital. Look, suddenly the vibe has completely relined. I am spiraling through a chaotic feedback loop of transcendent hype and absolute narrative betrayal, dumping my unedited psychic damage onto this digital hive mind because you are the only circle that speaks this language. You are the only ones who can witness my existential collapse and understand exactly why I am screaming at my monitor. Wait, why are we like this? Why do we invest so much of our souls into these characters? Have the writers rip the rug out from under us with a twist. This dark. Basically, Nina Reeves just crossed the line that you absolutely cannot uncross. We all saw the absolute clown show that went down at Willow's house earlier. Nina, in a total panic, accidentally jabbing Jack Brennan with the paralytic syringe meant for Drew Kane. It was a mess. It was a disaster. But it was an accident. Honestly. I thought they were just going to stash him in Carly's attic like a piece of vintage furniture. I thought Valentine was going to handle it. But no, Nina handled it. And she handled it with a lethal crunch that I am still trying to process. Let me set the raw frame for you because this is a total game changer. Jack Brennan is lying in a recovery room at General Hospital. He is temporarily paralyzed, incapacitated, but he is a WSB field office boss. He is not some random guy off the street. He is a highly trained, lethal federal agent who the exact second that paralytic wears off is going to wake up and absolutely nuke Nina, Valentine, and Willow from orbit. He knows about Drew. He knows about the kidnapping. He knows everything. Suddenly, Nina realizes this. Suddenly, the chaotic panic that had her hyperventilating in Willow's living room morphs into this chilling, sociopathic survival instinct. She realizes that if Brennan wakes up, she loses everything. She goes to federal prison. Willow goes to prison. Her entire life, her access to her grandchildren, her freedom, it is all over. So basically, Nina decides that Brennan cannot wake up, ever. Unbelievable, guys. What's going on here? Let's map out the logic behind this absolute grind. Nina sneaks back into Willow's house, or maybe she already had the stash in her designer purse, honestly. Who even knows with her chaotic energy and secures a massive lethal dose of the paralytic drug. The exact same drug that has kept Drew Kane locked in a waking coma for months. She doesn't just grab a little bit. She grabs enough to completely shut down the central nervous system of a grown man. And then she walks right back into General Hospital. Look, the sheer audacity of this woman. She just strolls into the ICU corridor like she owns the damn building. No filter, no hesitation. She slips into Brennan's recovery room. And the lighting in this scene is just low-key, obsessively dark and moody, perfectly matching the absolute darkness taking over Nina's soul right now. Listen, I am low-key dragging the vibe into the spotlight here because we need to deeply analyze the psychology of this moment. Nina stands over Brennan's bed. This is a man who is chemically locked in. He cannot move a muscle. He cannot speak. But his eyes, if they were fully open, would be screaming in terror. Nina looks down at him, and honestly, you expect her to cry, right? You expect her to do the classic Nina Reeves spiral, the tears, the what have I done, how did I get here routine, but she doesn't. Suddenly, she is ice cold. She is a completely different person. She takes that syringe, the one loaded with a massive overdose of the paralytic, and she injects it directly into Brennan's IV line, directly into his veins. Basically, she just executed a federal agent in a hospital bed while nurses were literally right outside the door. I am screaming. I literally cannot process this. Whoa. I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension thinking about how this connects to her history with Madeline and Nell. But bring the signal back, let's stick to the script. The monitor. The heart monitor. The second that massive dose hits Brennan's bloodstream, his system just violently shuts down. The paralytic stops his lungs from expanding. It stops his heart from beating. And the machine lets out that long, continuous, high-pitched ripple, the flatline. The sound of absolute, irreversible death. And what does Nina do? Does she panic? Does she try to reverse it or call for help? No. She coldly, methodically wipes down the IV port. She erases her tracks like a seasoned Cassadine hitman. Honestly, Valentine would be proud, but also deeply, deeply terrified. She stages the scene to look exactly like a sudden heart failure complication. A tragic, unforeseen medical emergency caused by the initial stroke. It is a major flex of pure villainy. Wait, am I contradicting myself? Earlier I said Nina was panicking and chaotic, but now she's a cold-blooded, methodical killer, yes. Because that is the absolute whiplash of this character arc. She is overflowing with emotion one second, crying to Willow on the phone, and the next, she is an apex predator protecting her young. She walks out of that recovery room, the flatline still echoing behind the heavy closed door, and her face is just a mask of stone. She has permanently silenced the only man who could expose the Drew Kane hostage situation. She has pushed permanent death. This isn't a soap opera coma. This isn't a fake out where he wakes up in a secret clinic in Switzerland. The man is dead. And Nina Reeves is the one who put him in the body bag. And then the hospital goes into absolute chaos. Code red, the alarms are blaring. Doctors and nurses are sprinting down the hallway, their footsteps echoing like thunder. And who is leading the charge? Elizabeth Baldwin. Look, Liz is already highly suspicious. We know this from the timeline. Liz had already cornered Rocco. She already noticed the weird slide burn. But more importantly, she had already questioned Nina about Brennan's sudden collapse. Liz literally told Lucas that it was highly suspicious for Brennan to have a stroke in the exact same house where Drew Kane had a mysterious stroke just months prior. Liz is a veteran nurse and basically a part-time detective at this point. She bursts into Brennan's room, and the scene is just pure devastation. Elizabeth starts doing compressions. She is fighting with everything she has to bring Brennan back, but the paralytic has completely destroyed his system. It's over. He's gone. Liz stands there, looking at the flatline, and you can visibly see the gears turning in her head. She knows this wasn't natural. She knows this wasn't a random heart failure. She looks at the IV line. But Nina, messy, emotional Nina actually managed to clean up her tracks perfectly. There is no physical evidence left behind. Just a dead WSB agent and a hospital in total lockdown. Honestly, the tension in this sequence is a total game changer. I was clutching my face the entire time. The sheer audacity of the writers to pull this off and turn Nina into a literal murderer is breaking my brain. Let's deep dive into the absolute lore-shattering implications of this, because the ripple effects are going to be catastrophic. Valentin Cassadine is currently sitting at Carly's house, explaining that Nina was actually aiming the syringe at him during the scuffle. Valentin is trying to strategize. He is trying to figure out how to move Brennan to Carly's attic or Cassadine safe house. Valentin thinks he has time. Valentin thinks he is in control of the narrative, but he is not. Because while he is sipping coffee and plotting with Carly, his ex is out here committing first-degree murder. When Valentin finds out that Nina didn't just drug Brennan, but actually went to the hospital and finished the job, he is going to lose his absolute mind. This is way above Valentin's pay grade, and he is a Cassadine. He is going to realize that Nina is a far bigger liability and a far more dangerous threat than he ever calculated. And what about Willow? Oh my god, Willow Kane. She just raced home in a total panic because Nina called her apologizing for missing Drew's weekly dose. Willow gets home just in time to stop Drew from calling for help. Drew is wiggling his fingers. He's regaining his strength. Willow is standing there, realizing she is the only one who can watch over him, completely unaware that her mother has just transformed into a literal assassin to protect this secret. How is Willow going to react when she finds out that the blood of a federal agent is on her mother's hands? Willow has been trying to justify this whole hostage situation as a temporary necessity but murder. Honestly, basically Willow's fragile moral compass is going to absolutely shatter into a million unfixable pieces. She is going to spiral into a psychological breakdown of epic proportions. Listen, the psychological fallout of this is going to hijack the entire canvas of Port Charles. Ross Cullum, the new WSB boss, is already looking for Brennan. Cullum is going to realize his top guy is dead. And Cullum isn't going to buy the sudden heart failure excuse for a single second. Cullum is going to tear General Hospital apart looking for answers. And Dante is already furious, already lashing out at Lulu and Cassius over the Rocco cover-up. When Dante gets pulled into a murder investigation at GH involving a WSB agent, the collision of all these storylines is going to be terminal velocity. He is going to start digging. Elizabeth is going to start talking. And the walls are going to close in on Nina so fast it will make your head spin. I cannot handle the hype. Basically, what we are witnessing is the complete and total villain origin story of Nina Reeves. Forget the Nixon Falls stuff. Forget stealing Sonny from Carly. This is murder. This is calculated cold and permanent. The writers have completely destroyed any chance of redemption for her. And honestly, I am low-key obsessed with it. It's a major flex. Instead of having her cry and play the victim for the 100th time, they are letting her be the monster that everyone always accused her of being. She looked at a threat and she eliminated it. Period. It is dark, it is twisted, and it is the most gripping, high-stakes television this show has produced in a decade. The psychic damage this is inflicting on the fan base is immeasurable, but we cannot look away. Wait, why are we like this? Why am I cheering for a murder storyline at 3 a.m.? I don't even know anymore. My moral compass is as broken as Willow's right now. But you have to admit, the execution of this plot is flawless. The way Nina walked out of that hospital, leaving a code red in her wake while Elizabeth stared at the flatline monitor. It is cinematic art. It is a narrative brilliance. I am spiraling. I am absolutely spiraling through the stratosphere. If you guys are not as hyped and terrified as I am right now, you are watching the wrong show. This is General Hospital at its absolute peak, and I am here for every single unhinged second of it. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, because I need to know I am not the only one losing my sanity over Nina Reeves becoming the Grim Reaper of Port Charles.